Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the first and only Saturday edition of the Into the Red Rabbit Hole. I'm Nighthawk, and we have Eric with us tonight. And we will be getting into the program here in a little bit. But let me go ahead and do the disclaimer, get that out of the way, and then we'll start the discussion here. Copyright disclaimer is this channel may use some copyrighted material without the specific authorization of the owner, but contends that it falls under the Fair Use Act, which is the Copyright Act of 1976. Nighthawk High Strange, this podcast channel, and all the podcasts on the channel declare fair use of any and all content to be used for the sole purpose of informing you, the viewing family, of information for criticism, commentary, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, research, parody, and general knowledge only. And let's not forget the entertainment value. Per Title 17, Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976, otherwise known in here as the Fair Use Act. All right, that's a lot to get it out right away. Let me get this off of here. How we doing?
Oh, not bad. Hey, Ozzy. I'm actually just about crap my pants here for a second. I was on the Library of Congress again, and I typed in werewolf, and they have actually got a digital copy of the werewolf, Verulvuven, translated from Norwegian.
Library of Congress is a good place to hide things in open sight.
Well, that's what I've been doing a crap ton of research on here lately is Library of Congress. And then, a lot of them encounters, and I was just kind of looking up something for, shits and giggles, and I went, holy crap.
Literally.
Definitely going to be checking in. Yeah, that's why I like it, man. I have found so much resources on there. It's not even funny. I mean, it's some old stuff. All really old stuff.
Yeah. How we doing, Juno and Ozzy Sue? Good to see you guys. I suppose the rest of them are still busy on DA's podcast, but they'll eventually wander this way when they find out there's nothing to do after 11 o'clock. Anyways, I want to on a subject tonight. We could even combine this with what we talked about this morning too, with the whole idea of AI, ancient AI being the ancient evil that is actually running our world today, and we don't even know it. It's on autopilot. I mean, kind of like the Matrix theory, but with the advanced AI being set in motion thousands upon thousands of years ago, and us not knowing the difference. So, because of some advanced civilization that our stupid engineers decided to build the cities and towns over. So, I'm just curious to see how we doing, Woo. I'm just curious to see what everybody thinks about that. And then I wanted to get into the whole woo factor thing with the cryptids. Okay. You hear so many people now saying, oh, they're just flesh and bone and da 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 da. And, you're just making things up or this and that. They can't disappear. Well, I got news for you. Native American legend tells that they are flesh and bone and can walk in the spirit world. So, I mean, you can call a pig, but it's, and put lipstick on it, but it's still a pig. So, you just gotta, understand that a lot of these people that just don't believe in the woo are so narrow in their standard of thinking and trying to theorize things that they're making it impossible for everybody in the field to actually learn from their own experiences and pretend that it's just flesh and bone. I don't know of any case other than maybe the occasional ones on the West Coast, because that's connected to the ones coming out of the Yukon and Alaska area. So they're probably a little bit more violent, I would say, than what they are here on the East Coast and in the South. you hear people saying, "Oh, I saw Bigfoot," and then all of a sudden, I turn to look at my wife or something or my friend and tell them, hey, look at this way, and then all of a sudden I turn back around and Bigfoot's gone, and there sits a coyote in the middle of the road. So, is it a special ability that they have? Can they mind speak their thoughts of what we're supposed to see into our heads? So it affects our vision and makes us see what they want us to see. The same with Dogman, the infrasound that taggers make, they talk about that with Bigfoot and Dogman, the infrasound, basically paralyzing and making people, humans, sick and nauseated. Is that a woo factor? I mean, it very well could be, and then you talk about, how they just disappear just like Bigfoot, one minute they were there and the next minute they're gone, I don't know, man. There's just so many question marks when it comes to dealing with a lot of the cryptids in the world. I mean, even Mothman. They say that Mothman can teleport. They say that Mothman, if you stare at his eyes, you'll see him move. He'll move like 100 yards at a time in the blink of an eye. So he basically can teleport himself closer and closer to you. There's so many accounted weirdness and strangeness that is associated with all these cryptids. It's amazing to me how we're not letting the research take us to the woo factor of everything. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Oh, it had been a cat. It's like, what the hell was that? Oh, and then it dawned on me what it sounded like. It was one of my cats running up the ramp. So,
Roxanne, good to see
yeah,
you.
There is a lot of woo factor to there. Hey, Thriller. There's a lot of woo factor when it comes to that stuff because it's known. I mean, look how many times the Native Americans told you that not only could they speak, but you remember the old proverb, Native American proverb, your thoughts are like arrows and they soar through the sky.
Mm-hmm.
They can pick up on our thoughts. What's to say they can't put something in our heads? I mean, we know from Native American stories that there's always a medicine man type werewolf or werewolf. I was reading an article here on werewolf real quick of Bigfoot. When people talk about the portals, we know through ancient text that the only way to go through a portal without being destroyed is you got to have a key, and usually a holy man that has that key to go through that portal. If those type of things are doing that, it would be the medicine man of that tribe that would be able to do it. So the fact that we know from Native American stories that they have different powers and abilities, the same as humans, the factor of them being able to do that kind of stuff is not out of that realm. It's well within that realm.
Yeah, exactly. And it all comes down to, if the descendants of the Europeans and stuff that came here would have listened to native folklore and tales and legends with a little bit more of an attentive ear, and start seeing that these things have the ability to walk in both worlds. I mean, I've taken reports of Bigfoot sightings where they get bluff charged. The person will get bluff charged, and there's nothing there. Only the noise and seeing the leaves or grass or branches bust apart from a bluff charge, but there's nothing physically there. But they can hear it, and they can see the way it's traveling, but yet they can't see it. So is that a woo factor? Is that something that happens all the time? I mean, there was an episode of the Bigfoot program, that Maria Maynard and the rest of them, the two guys. I can't remember the name of the show. I don't watch TV that much, but
Finding Bigfoot.
Yeah, Finding Bigfoot. That's it. And basically, that program, they actually proved that the woo factor does actually exist in some of these cryptids. Maybe not all of them. Maybe all of them aren't fully developed. But they had that one that they said was moving in shadow form, and then right in front of the cameras disappeared as it walked away. They have the ability to bend light, probably. That's been proven pretty much with the hair follicles that they found.
Adaptive camouflage.
Yeah, adaptive camouflage is the way to go. I mean, with most apex predators, you're not going to be able to see them until it's too late. So, same with the military guys. They tell us to use adaptive camouflage. Then, by God, you're not going to be able to find us.
If my fluffy butt can fit in my old uniform, I can look at you and back into the trees, and I can just get a couple feet in them trees, and you'll know exactly where I'm at, and I'm disappeared. You can't see me. And you've watched me literally walk into there.
All right.
So, that stuff happens. Look at the video the DA played. Was it Doug Hycheck, I think, had that video where that Bigfoot was walking. When it stopped, it completely disappeared. And then once the guy got closer, it moved again, and all of a sudden you could see it. Adaptive camouflage right there. That was no portal. That was adaptive camouflage. When he stopped, he blended in with his surroundings. When I'm hunting deer, it's the same factor. A lot of times I will not see that deer unless I see an ear flick or a tail flick, or I see it move. If none of that happens, I've literally had deer 5 feet in front of me, and I never knew the thing was there until I seen an ear flick. Like, holy crap, there's a deer right there. Look at that video Robbie played on DA's show that one time with all them goats. You couldn't see none of the goats. All of a sudden he shot that shot, and was it like 50 freaking goats got up and ran? The whole mountainside was covered. You never knew. Adaptive camouflage. So, there's definitely that factor in there. It's throughout the animal kingdom alone. That is a well-known thing. So there's the possibility of, look at the Big W. He is known to be cloaking, which that's a supernatural entity. So, it may not kind of play into this, but when you're dealing with supernatural, that's a whole new type of woo factor to it. They have abilities that, that's abilities that flesh and blood creatures don't have. That's a supernatural entity. It's a demon. So that's a whole new factor. So, and right. I think a lot of stuff that happens with people is they misidentify something because they automatically, especially, and this is the downside to social media. Somebody says something, somebody likes it, and all of a sudden that thing is applied to everything. No, there is differences there, right. But it is what it is, folks. There really ain't much about it, but my family, very well known. My great grandmother Smith, full-blooded Cherokee, right? Which is funny because she was a racist against Native Americans, and she herself was a full-blooded Cherokee. And she would sit there and have her back turned to you. You'd look for something, and she'll go top shelf, back row to the left, and you never told her what you was looking for. Bam, it's right there. A lot of times in my family, you just get that feeling, hey, I need to make a phone call. Make the phone call. Glad you made the phone call because something was going on. That's well known in my family. So, Bigfoot can do that stuff too. I've had times where I've sit there as like, Mom, I need you to call me. And then all of a sudden I'll get a call from my mom. She goes, I had a feeling I needed to call you. If I could do that from thousands of miles away, why can't a cryptid do that a couple feet away? That's
sure, Roxanne. If the Freeman video actually showed the the thing disappearing, the Bigfoot disappearing in the video. I know that it was behind a tree, but they play such a small clip of these videos, a small portion of them, basically the best shots, so they can get get it more hits on the internet and all that to view it. I wish they would just play that video from beginning to end, no matter what length it is, so we could actually see it. And the same with the the Patty film, beginning to end. Don't give us just this little 1 minute clip of seeing something briefly and that's it. I want to see the beginning and the end also. So that's the best way you analyze things anyways. I don't know, but I don't think I've seen a long enough film of the Freeman footage that was taken in I think it was 1996 or 98, somewhere around there. But since then, he's passed away, and his son's doing a lot of his father's work for him, as far as the video goes and all that. But it's one thing to grow up like I was brought up with the legends and stuff, and told all the stories, all the horror stories about don't whistle at night in the woods, don't stick around if you see red glowing eyes. Make sure that if you gift to the right ones and not the wrong ones, because the wrong ones will follow you home and terrorize you and your family. Just all kinds of different warnings and stuff that they taught as children all the way up to adulthood. We're taught these things because we're taught to give them the due respect that they're amounted to and leave them alone, and if we come across them, just be as humble as you can and look down at the ground. Don't make eye contact. And I always thought that, very curious as to why not make eye contact, until my mother actually told me that some of these beings, and she would know after the way she brought me up, that some of these beings would have special powers, per se, special abilities, enhanced abilities, to basically, manipulate what we see and hear. They take, for instance, Bigfoot mimicking mechanical devices. They mimic power motors and stuff, chainsaw, and stuff like that. Metal on metal type of sounds they can mimic very, very well. You couldn't even tell that it's not a machine, if it was them. The same with the coyotes and and the wolf howls and all that, and the owls and all that, and the mourning doves,
dog barks.
They can mimic anything. But is that a special ability? Well, in my basic aspect of hunting and all that and tracking, that is a special talent, but I don't know that it'd be a special ability.
No, so, I could make a lot of animal sounds, and I do it for hunting. I haven't used a turkey call in years. I just sit out there in the woods and I'll get them come in. Nighttime, if I want to know where they're at, and I'll hear them, or I'll get talking meows. That's not an ability; it's just something you pick up. So, I mean, I agree. I think it's a talent they do.
Yeah, it's a learned, taught process from the elder ones down to the young ones, and that's the same way that they did it in Native American society. The elders taught the young ones. And it usually the whole village was responsible for raising the young. So and so, I mean, depending on who was raising the young was how good the young person would be as an adult, with hunting and tracking and hiding from their enemies and all that, and and dealing with the woo part of things. But yeah, the whole fact of the matter is that you have these stories from Bigfoot to Mothman to the Dog Man to Lizard Man, having these abilities. There was a report in coming from West Virginia into Virginia on Route 33 last year, and it was a guy that was coming home from working second shift, and he was about 11 o'clock or so at night, and he was coming down off the mountains there in West Virginia off of Route 33, and all of a sudden he got this weird tingling, how it goes down your spine and your hair stands up on end and all that in the back of your neck, and you know something's going to happen, or you're going to experience something. Well, there was a fog that was formed outside his vehicle. He was doing about 35 miles an hour down this road, lane road, runs north or east and west, okay, on 33. And basically he said this mist formed, and the next thing he knew, he looked over and he saw a goat man running alongside of his vehicle at the same rate of speed that his car was doing, which was 35 miles an hour. 35 miles an hour. Excuse me. Now I got the hiccups. And anyways, he said that this goat man tried to open up his door, and thank God his passenger door was locked, because otherwise he said that goat man would have opened that door. Now, he said he sped up and the mist disappeared, and as soon as the mist disappeared, so did the goat man. Okay. Now, it was that something of a supernatural experience, or was that a cryptid with a woo factor type of a thing?
Yeah, I mean that's definitely. I mean, it's definitely possible. I haven't done a whole lot of historical research on that side of it. A lot of stuff to me is common sense, just because we have the same ability to do some things if we put our mind to it correctly, train ourselves correctly. There's a lot of things a human can do that we don't think is possible. So, I mean, for me, cryptid, who's more in tune to that type of stuff, probably has the ability to do it. I don't know for sure, but definitely possible. I can't dispute it one bit. Say, Kevin. Yeah, I mean,
Kevin.
It's there's certain things like this is. I don't really claim this as woo. This is more of probably a inherited instinctual idea. But I mean, for like me, I've done 13 years in the military. I've been hunted by many different types of people, and you just get that feeling. You're being watched. Something is targeting you, and we all have that ability. Some people are more in tune to it than the others. I don't really put that on as that's more of a inherited thing. It's just with proper training you become, or enough of it happens, enough experiences, then you get used to that. So a lot of this stuff where they thinking that's they're putting that in my head. I don't really think so. Just because you got to think, at one time we were prey. We weren't one of those at the top of the food chain. We were a prey creature at one time. So we're inherently born with the gift of going. We're being hunted. Just something gets passed down.
We're just fluffy little doggy toys. Is all we are. Little squeaker toys. That's all we are.
I'll give them diabetes, and I'm a screamer.
Man. Yeah,
I love that line off of Alamo. I'm a screamer. That was oh God, what was his name? Now I forgot his name. He's a rock singer. God, what was his name in the Alamo? He played Davy Crockett. Oh my God, he was in Armageddon. Santa. God, what is his name? Anyways, I love that. That was my favorite line of the whole movie of the Alamo is "I'm a screamer." Yeah, we're their little playthings, Ozzy. Maybe,
and
yeah,
there's
you know what?
Roxanne's.
That could be, yeah. Maybe I need to make a merch line of "I'm a screamer." Come up with something for that.
There you go. There you go.
Oh my gosh! But no, I mean, so I mean, when it comes to the woo factor, we have to be careful on a lot of that stuff because some of that stuff ain't the woo; it's just natural abilities or a natural talent.
Right.
So I mean, it's something we really got to consider.
Yeah.
I'd be the guy everyone takes that you can outrun. Kid, Don. That's the key factor. You ain't got to be the fastest guy. You just got to be faster than the slowest guy.
Yep. Yep. Exactly.
I'm just going to stand there because my fluffy butt can't run no more. I might be able to run for about 2 seconds, and then I'd be like, "Screw it, I'm done." So I mean, I'm the screamer. You guys go. Is it the guy with the crooked teeth? Yeah. God, what is it? It's going to bug the hell out of me what his name is. He's been in a lot of movies, but he played Davy Crockett in the movie The Alamo, which is based off of more the true faction or true encounter or the true deal of the Alamo. But yeah, that was his line in there. Is "I'm a screamer." A lot of people don't realize that Davy Crockett was actually a brother Mason, and there is a lot of talk out there that he actually survived because Santa Anna was a Mason as well. And there's been reports after the Alamo of Davy Crockett being sighted. And I can't go into. Never mind. I can't go into deep because none of you guys are master Mason or none of you guys are Masons. But there's certain things you do to another Mason to let them know that you're a Mason.
Speak for yourself.
You are. I'm talking about everybody. Everybody in chat. Yeah. But there's certain things you do to another Mason to let him know that you're a fellow Mason. And one of our oaths as a Mason is we don't bring harm to another Mason. So
exactly.
I mean, that aspect of him surviving the Alamo.
Yep.
So that factor of him surviving the Alamo is possible. Now, at the same time, the other flip side is Santa Anna was banned from the fraternity because he killed Davy Crockett. He killed a brother. That's one thing. You do not bring harm to a brother. And so, I mean,
but
I don't know.
My gut instinct tells me that that's not what happened with Santa Anna. That he basically let him go. I mean, everybody judges the Freemasons by their secret society handshakes and shit like that. But with that goes other ways of communication that we are told and taught to show that we are in distress and need help. So that's what Eric is talking about, and we can't go into details with it, but let's just say it's a 3-part step basically. So,
I gotta look because it's going to bug the hell out of me now.
You gotta look up the name, huh?
Yes, because it's bugging the shit out of me. No, I don't want the 1961. I want the current one. Billy Bob Thornton. God. Why can't I remember that? Billy Bob Thornton. I'm a screamer. Yeah, it was Billy Bob Thornton.
Sling Blade. You should have said Sling Blade, then we'd all know it.
Yeah, I didn't think about that, man. He was in Armageddon. He was in Santa. He was in a lot of different movies. Bad Santa or something like that. I can't remember. Billy Bob Thornton. I love that. He's sitting there looking at him in the eyes. Boys, I'm a screamer. That's my favorite line of that whole movie. And I've used it ever since. It's like, that's my fluffy butt right there. I can't run, but I'm a screamer.
Oh man.
Yeah. But no, I mean,
just, yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, you go ahead. I was
going to say, I mean, there's a lot of aspect on it. And, you know, not only do we have to be careful what's a natural trait, you also have to be careful what's supernatural too. So, I mean, all this, when we're talking about this stuff, we have to play every bit of this stuff. We got to consider it. We really have to consider that. And we can't put it all in the same kettle, because not every pot is black, and not every kettle is black, and not every kettle is clean. You gotta place them in different ones. Otherwise, you're getting a jambalaya that don't taste very good. You want a jambalaya that tastes good. You don't put things into jambalaya that don't go into jambalaya, because then it don't taste good. So you got to consider that.
Yeah, true. I'm reading over some notes that I had from a previous show that, you know, because we covered this topic before on the morning program. And, you know, for someone to take and just assume that this is straight out, not just basic instinct or abilities that these cryptid creatures have, without having some kind of a spiritual connection to things, is to me a little absurd, because, you know, we have always, you know, talked about having the ability to walk in both worlds. And, you know, as much as I dream walk and all that, and you know, usually don't sleep, it's more just I'm out of body travel, basically. Which is dangerous. So you don't want to do it too much, because unless you know what you're doing, a demon could actually come into your body and take it over while you're gone. So you have to know what you're doing when it comes to dream walking and all that. But you know, it is what it is. It's a risk that we all take when we get to that point. But yeah, I think the woo factor is a definite thing. Because there's always going to be something that you can't explain when you're dealing with a cryptid type of an intelligent creature. Okay, whether they have the ability to outthink you, to read your mind, to disappear, to teleport, to, you know, make fire come from their hand, you know, and you know, all kinds of weird stuff I've heard. And you know, even how the eyes look like it's headlights, basically, on an ATV staring at you, you know, that big and bright, you know. We all know that there's self-illuminating things out there in the water. So why couldn't there be self-illuminating things on dry land? So I don't know. But there's a lot to it. I mean, I couldn't just say that it's just flesh and bone, because, you know, I was always taught to believe that they are not only flesh and bone, but they walk in both worlds, which includes the spirit world, or as some people like to say, the veil, or the gray area of between the worlds, you know. Yeah, because when I was going through my training to become a medicine man, and it's something that you know, something you don't take lightly. You know, you listen to every elder that's teaching you, and you know, you listen very carefully, because they're going to tell you some things that, you know, your mind may question, but out of respect and mutual admiration for your elders and your medicine people, you accept what they have to say, and you retain that knowledge, because that knowledge is sacred. Okay. When I was being taught how to do the walker ceremony, I'm not going to say the word, but when my mother taught me the ceremony, and, you know, the bloodletting of the ceremony, was the thing that I couldn't get past, but I did eventually. You know, it's a very, very, I almost want to say that it is at the point of elevating your spiritual part of your being, your awareness, to such a high degree that you can literally make your physical body do whatever you want. Okay. Take the yogis for example that are around the world that have their little cults and teach people to meditate to the point where they see blue and birds and all that, and then they start to float up off the floor and levitate, 6 inches off the floor. They do that in Nepal too. The Nepalian people, when they meditate, at the temples and stuff, some of them get to that point, in the Buddhist temples that they can levitate, and they can levitate 3-4 feet off the ground. I've seen it. I've literally seen monks do that. Okay. So, it's not so absurd to think that, that we're being dummified every day of our lives with chemicals and impurities in food and processed foods and laden with chemicals and stuff that keep us, that part of our brain, less active. Okay. Because they want to keep us from knowing what our powers truly are, and I'm a firm believer too that, in my faith, I do believe that, we shouldn't call ourselves a god or anything, or even a demigod, but do I believe that Jesus or God has a part inside us that can give us special abilities and attributes to protect ourselves and to protect our families? Yes, I do. Look what God gave Moses, the strength of the staff. The strength of Moses' staff to eat 2 serpents that of the priest for the Egyptian Pharaoh. His staff turned the water to blood, okay, blood red, in the Nile. His staff and his prayers, his words, parted the Red Sea. And that's actually been proven too lately. They actually found the exact track that Moses took when he parted the Red Sea. So that's not bullshit. That's not stuff that you take lightly. It's if God can give Moses that a special ability, then he can give everybody that special ability. Every creature that he made, including man. Okay. So I just don't doubt it. I was raised around the woo factor, so I don't doubt it.
Oh yeah. The thing is, I was raised around it too. I never took part in the black magic. I had family that did. I want no part of it. I've seen the things that happened to them.
Well, I didn't have any children.
I've seen what it did to their bodies, and I've seen the violent way they died. And I was like, I am not taking part in any of this crap. I mean, you don't understand when you're dealing with that. There is a price, and it's not a very pretty price. Not a pretty price at all. So, I mean, there's a lot of stuff when it comes to that. Is there good types? Yes, but I don't really just, I'm not one that gets into the white witch thing. A lot of stuff if you study what they call a white witch, is a medicine person. They use the plants and stuff like that for medicines.
Right. Yeah. Also the fact that I use the ceremonies nowadays to protect people. In fact, there was a young man last year had a problem with a skinwalker, and he called me up on my cell phone and he talked to me. He goes, Nighthawk, he goes, I got this problem. He says, me and my crew, he had 3 men in his crew, including himself. and they went out and they were looking for Dog Man and all that, and they come across an alleged skinwalker, and this skinwalker was basically terrorizing these 3 grown men all night long. And the next day he called me and he said, we need help, can you help us in any way? And I took the ceremonies that I learned and transformed them from the dark arts to the light arts, okay, the enlightened. I basically use the ceremony against the walker, okay? And he said right away, as soon as he heard me singing and drumming, that and saying the prayers, and he did hear me. I wasn't on the phone with him when I did that. It was about 11:30, 12 o'clock at night, when this happened. And I think I got done at like 1:30 in the morning finally. And I felt like everything was okay at that point. Which it'll drain you. Okay. What it does is it really completely drains you when you do a protective ceremony like that. Because you're calling not only upon the Creator's power to help you out, you're calling upon your own internal ways of blessings and cleansing, from a distance. So that's not easy to do. Some medicine people spend their whole life and they can't do it. But some can. So, but anyways, he said, yeah, I heard you singing and praying. And I said, really? He goes, yeah. He says, I heard you singing and praying. It was like the walker had a speaker on him, and I could hear what was coming out of your mouth, and I was like 900 to 1,000 miles away from where they were. So, he was up in Wisconsin at the time, and where he was doing his investigations out there. And he was a pretty fairly good sized guy. I mean, he was into the amateur wrestling and stuff, for like Midwest Wrestling or something like that, where they do all those shows and stuff at carnivals and all that, and high schools and all that. So he was a fairly big guy. He wasn't a slouch. He could handle himself. But when he was dealing with this situation with this walker, he knew that he was dealing with something a little bit more supernatural than what he was used to. And that's my point. My point is that these things do happen when you're dealing with these things. Okay.
Yep.
If you ever have an encounter, and it's like I've always said from the beginning, and even Dennis Carroll agrees with me on this, if you see red eyes, odds are you're not dealing with just a cryptid. Okay. You're dealing with something evil and dark and demonic. Okay. That has either A, taken the cryptid over, or B, just possessed its form to utilize to terrorize you. Because that's all the demonic want to do, is they want to terrorize and frighten and kill mankind. Because they're jealous that God chose mankind, humanity, over them. So, it goes without saying that, a lot of the stuff I was taught, even though it was black arts, now that I can use it to the good, I'm using every bit of it, and then some. I'm also using the anointing oils of myrrh and frankincense. I'm also using holy water. I'm not just, putting it out there to put it out there. But there is a lot to be said about the woo factor, and people just don't want to grasp it, And to me, if you can't be willing to at least check into it and acknowledge it, then you're just a one-sided investigator with blinders on, So, you have to question every aspect of things,
Well, it's like we talked on here several times, brother. You got to look at it from different angles. You can't look at it from one.
Exactly.
And that's why I'm always preaching: learn the history of the thing you're investigating, not the current history. I'm talking about ancient history as well. And a lot
The
of
forgotten
investigators don't do that.
hmm Yeah, the forgotten history. Yeah. Yeah. And
You know,
they're starting to find out that
mm-hmm,
that's true, you know?
mm-hmm. Well, I mean, and look how many times, people will get on a show, oh, they don't do this, they don't do that. I can't find that in history. I'm going, how can you not? I find it all the time. It's right here. The
Exactly.
people who's going to know more about the stuff we deal with is not us, folks. It's our
Right.
ancestors. Our
Right.
ancestors who's going to know more about. You'll learn more from our ancestors than you will by sitting on your butt listening to a podcast.
Exactly. Exactly.
Honestly.
That's like I had somebody that I'm very well known with, and he presented to me that the sacred white buffalo calf was born,
Mm,
he and he
yeah.
said that's a good thing. I said, well, yeah, it would be a good thing. I said, but that's like the fourth one that's been born in the last 45 years,
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, what a lot of people don't comprehend is everything that's white is sacred. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
every animal, whether it's a rabbit, whether it's a bird, a snake, anything, even Bigfoot. Okay, whatever's white is very sacred. Okay, it's a purity thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's the medicine from the north. It's the white medicine from the north that comes down, and it kills off the spring and the summer to make all the leaves fall and stuff. But then again, it nourishes back into Mother Earth and is reborn the next spring.
Mm-hmm.
That's the whiteness of the sacredness of the white animals. Juno knows that. I'm sure Roxanne knows that, and I'm sure several other people in the chat know that. Hey, Da, good to
Hey,
see you,
DA.
bro.
Snow
But
your assed out, bud. You got some brown on your
no,
back, so you're not pure white.
he says, I am.
Yeah,
uh,
I just didn't want him to get a big head.
yeah, yeah, yeah. But I mean, it's that same theory though. Basically, when you
Mm,
look at things, and I had talked to somebody earlier today, just before your podcast, Eric, and
mm-hmm.
he wanted me to come on his channel sometime coming up in the near future, and it's a pretty well known channel. I'll get into the details of it later, um, but and he wasn't the only one. Everybody seems to want to know about the dog man or about the possibility of werewolves and all this, and and Bigfoot, and eventually they all somehow I can say thank you to Ryan as as big of a wealth of knowledge as my little brother is. Ryan, and Shane, I love them both to death.
Troublemakers.
I really do. I love them both to death. I really, really do. But I'm I said I wasn't going to do any more podcasts and stuff except for what I'm doing here, with the channel, and I decided no, I'm not going to stick to that. I'm going to do as much as I can, as much as people want to invite me to come on, and I'll talk.
Mm.
Um, but they all have this thing about wanting to know about the dog man, and what the native legends are, coming down from the
Mhm.
Yukon area. How long has the dogmen been around? Well, the dogmen's have been around as long as the Egyptians have been around, and longer.
Yeah.
I don't know how much plainer I can make it, to people that when they're dealing with some of this stuff, they're dealing with ancient cryptids. Okay, a bloodline
Mm-hmm.
that is goes all the way back to Anubis and beyond. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
all the way back. Okay, um, and the Anunnaki, you have to give the Anunnaki credit because they were the ones that did the genetic magic, pulled off the genetic magic to make these beings, and to make them into practically demigods, if I dare say. I mean, there's so much to the whole, and that's like you and I always say, Eric, everything's connected, and everything is connected.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of putting those little pieces together.
I mean, look how many times we've said this so many times on this show. The Dogman is known as one of the elder beings, one of the first beings. Same as Shiai Tonka. I mean, they are the elder beings, one of the first beings for a reason. They were here before mankind. So, I mean, there's a reason why the Native Americans call them that. So, I mean, this is not anything new. Now, were they called different things throughout history? Yes, they were called different things throughout history. Is there different types of them? Yes, there's different types of them. But this is nothing new. This is ancient stuff we're talking about. And that's why we always, like we always say, learn your ancient history when it comes to this stuff. Yep. Don't go on the newest fad. Research the history on this stuff. Our DA's got something here. There's a reason that both Bigfoot type and Dogman type creatures are drawn in the margins of the. Yes, yeah, you're exactly. And William and I was talking about that one day too. You're absolutely right. I mean, they're on that priest map. I mean, it's in every ancient tablet, any ancient story, any ancient drawing, whatever you want to come, they have these creatures in them for a reason.
Yeah, let me see if I can find that map. I used to have that map on here. Let me see if I can find it.
Yeah, DA's a lucky dog. He actually was able to buy it. I need to buy one. I need to buy it. I need.
I would love to be able to buy it.
I'll be rich and famous like DA one day and be able to.
Yeah.
Oh, you got you got a physical copy. Yeah. I've got part of it. I don't know if it's on. I think it might be on my hard drive though. Yes, I know. You just keep bragging. Just keep rubbing it in. Rub that salt in that wound, DA. I'll get one of these days, bro. Oops.
Let me see here.
I'll look in mine. I know I've got a digital copy, but I think it's on my external.
Sorry, D. I'm going to hide your comment.
I'm going to have one day.
Yeah.
God, what file would I have it under? I can't remember what file.
I can't even see that. I got to find my glasses. Dang it. Dang it.
It sucks getting old.
Yeah, it does. It does. Watch it now. You ain't that far behind.
No, that's what sucks. That's why I can say it. Oh, could you, DA? That'd be perfect. That'd be perfect. I know I've had this somewhere.
Behind, isn't he, DA?
No.
Yeah.
Right now I'm the babyface fluffy guy, but I'm fixing to turn to the old babyface fluffy guy here soon. Oh my
Damn
God!
it,
what do I do with that? Damn it, Bobby.
Oh man.
I am going to have to make a new shirt though. I'm a screamer. Hey Jessica, sorry I didn't see you. I was looking for something.
Hey, Jessica.
Found it. I'll get it uploaded. Oh, you got it. Never mind. Yeah. I mean, look at that bad boy.
Yeah.
I've got a close up, I believe. Let me enlarge this. I believe I have a close up. Yep, yes, I do. I have a close up of the creatures in Antarctica. Let me upload that for it real quick.
It's kind of like cinnamon.
You got to say it right. Oh, show material, Antarctic. There we go. Antarctic.
Hey, how come you can't hear a pterodactyl going to the bathroom?
I don't know how. Why?
Because the P's silent.
Oh my gosh, this thing will load one of these days. Come on, baby. You can do it. You can do it. Come on, you two feller. Thank you. Thank you. Come back
there
again.
we go.
There, see down here at the
right.
bottom, you can see them. I mean, these are all these creatures down here in Antarctica that they've got on the map.
On the Antarctica. What is that
Antarctica.
thing there on the very end there? Looks like a horse. Come in from both of the ships there at a 45 degree angle on
the horse
tip
with
of that.
horns.
Yeah,
right under the cow.
Yeah, what is that? I'm trying to figure out what that is.
I thought that was a deer, but if you look at the tail, that's an awful long tail for a deer.
Yeah, that's
to
what
me.
I
That
was
looks
thinking.
like a No,
Maybe
late night shenanigans. That would never go on here. Come on, Jessica. Come on. We would never do that. Yeah, I don't know what that is. I mean, I haven't thought about that till you pointed it out. That looks like a horse with antlers. Could that be the unicorn? Could be the unicorn?
The unicorn?
Actually, yeah, I believe that is actually one of the theories now that I think about it. It's a unicorn.
Oh, Jesus. We're going to get kicked off of here.
Oh, it's all right.
Don't mind us. We're having fun. We're punch drunk because we're just so damn tired of doing all the work.
Oh, my God. Yeah. No, it's fun. But yeah, DA, if you can send me a digital copy, I'll take a digital copy for sure. But yeah, I need to buy it. I'm glad. I thought it was more than $40, so thanks for letting me know that. Yahoo, Roxanne. Everybody remember that? You got mail with Yahoo. So
that was basically a what do they call that? A glitch in the matrix. That Yahoo thing never happened.
Bull crap! I remember it as clear as day. It's Yahoo.
No, that never happened, man. That's the Mandela. That's the Mandela.
Yeah, I know. They can say that all they want. I remember that as clear as day. I remember CP3O having a silver arm. I remember
they made an action figure with a silver arm.
Huh?
They made an action figure of C3PO with the silver arm.
If memory serves me correctly, which I love Star Wars, I'm going to geek out for a minute. I am a Star Wars nerd. I love my Star Wars. Yoda, utmost favorite character. Force is strong with you. Love Yoda. That Yoda's the man. But if I remember correctly, after he got blasted in the Sky City is when he had the silver arm.
Mm-hmm.
I remember being a kid going to the theaters. I mean, there was lines 4 blocks long just to watch it. I remember going to the mall and movie stores and see the moving talking displays of R2-D2 and CP3O.
Mm-hmm.
See, I'm not the only one. Yahoo!
Well, I got a box. I got a box marked up here on the shelf. Star Wars figures. I should go through that and see if I've got the silver.
Dude, yes, yeah. I love Star Wars. I love Baby Yoda. I actually have Baby Yoda. Grogu is his correct name, though, Roxanne. So we're going to do it's Grogu, and I actually have Grogu, and I won best dressed at a biker get together because I was carrying around Baby Yoda. I have pictures of me carrying Baby Yoda around Grogu. I have pictures of me and Grogu was a hit with the ladies.
There's the slug.
Yes. Yes, Jabba the Hutt.
Let's see here.
Chewie, yes. And you guys know the story behind Chewie is they believe that he actually seen a Bigfoot, and that was where the idea of Chewie came from.
Oh, dude, man, I didn't realize this was all in there.
Yeah. Oh, heck, there you go. Oh, you got one of those. So you got the old ones in there.
I didn't realize all this was in here. There must be a couple hundred figures. Good God. There's one of the little guys.
Oh, yeah. I love Star Wars, man.
These are the Imperial Guards, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I am your father.
Luke, I am your father.
I guess that's from
Jar Jar.
Yeah, I got Jar Jar Binks. I got Stormtroopers. Woo. Yeah.
You talking about the Ewoks, Roxanne?
You can tell my kids were
spoiled. Yeah. The little furry people on Star Wars were Ewoks.
Well, I'm not lying, man. There must be a good. Well, what's this? What the heck is this one?
Can't see. Oh, that's a droid.
That the battle droid?
Oh my God. Yeah, it's one of them. Yeah. Yep. Ewoks. Ewoks were cannibals. They ate all the stormtroopers they killed. Did you guys ever think about that when you watch Star Wars? Think about it. They were playing the drums with the helmets, and they had a lot of meat to eat.
Anybody wants to make an offer on Star Wars figures?
Yeah, if I had money, I would. I love Star Wars. You know what's sad is? What's sad is like the Jedi powers. We all actually have them abilities, but our brain has been locked from us. So one of the leading theories, and especially in Asian cultures and a lot of stuff they train, is you being able to do that kind of stuff. But you have to unlock that part of your brain, which allows you to do it again. But once you actually Jedi was never
the one thing with the ceremonies and stuff that I was taught was once you did it one time and you committed to it as far as trying to enhance your abilities, it would just continue to grow stronger and stronger. When I was into the black arts and stuff of the Native American aspect of the dark arts, and doing the walker ceremonies and all that, and doing the putting the thought in people's heads and stuff. I was the kind of kid in the classroom when it came to, because back in the days you had to stand at a chalkboard and actually write out the answer, and they always used to pick on somebody else, and I would put a certain thought in that kid's mind, and what answer to write down and what formula to use and like all the stuff. This one kid especially, they must have thought that poor kid was an idiot, because I made sure he got every answer wrong, and he wrote down exactly the thought that I put in his mind. That's mind speaking. Yeah, mind speaking is a legitimate thing. And if someone tells you, oh no, it's not, I'll differ with you, okay, because I've done it. Okay, so I lived that life.
You're nicer than I am. Because if I was doing that to somebody, I put in there, teacher's got flat boobs or teacher's got a big butt. That's an answer. You're nicer than I am.
Yeah,
they must have a very.
They must have thought that kid was a complete idiot. Hey, Overbuilt.
I do have actually a question for you, because I'm not knowledgeable on dream walking that much. But I know, I can't remember what they call it, but like some of my dreams are extremely realistic. I mean, you wouldn't know the difference between the dreams and reality. That's
right.
Yeah. And some of my dreams are of the past. Some of my dreams are some weird crap in the future. Is that like dream walking, or I can't remember what I've heard somebody call it something before, and I don't remember what it is.
Well, the dream walking is where you can literally walk into other people's dreams, others that aren't like real,
Okay.
you could either do it for good things, like getting rid of the bad elements of their dream world, so they're not afraid to fall asleep, or you could literally terrorize the hell out of your enemy that way.
Mm-hmm.
I
Kind of
use
like what
dream walking. I've used dream walking for both, to tell you the truth. But lately I do it just to basically have myself leave my state of being and basically walk amongst the stars and stuff. You can literally walk in somebody's dream and take notes in the background of what the person's dreaming, everything that happens, and then wait for them to wake up the next morning, and you tell them exactly what they dreamed about, and they freak out. They're like, there's no way you could have known that, Well, yeah, because dream walking is a legitimate thing. Okay. If we're taught it enough and we use it and reuse it enough, it becomes second nature to us. So if say I could do those things, or any other holy man could do those things, anybody can, with the right training and the right, encouragement. So,
See, so for me,
and you got to understand, I was taken at a very young age and started in this at 3 years old.
Yeah.
So a very young age.
For me, like I have memories, and I'll dream of these things, and I'll wake up and I'll have the marks where something had happened at. Say, like I had, one of the ones that still I can remember to this day, very, very vividly, is I was a Lakota running through a prairie, being run down by by cavalry personnel, and I got shot in the back. And when I woke up, I had a red mark where I got shot, and it hurt like hell. And then I've also had a lot of dreams of, like, I'm fighting demons, or I'm fighting monsters, or I'm fighting evil people, and I can wake up and I could feel anytime I got cut, hit, shot, whatever, I could feel it, and I'd wake up and I have a mark and pain where that happened at. And somebody told me what that was. I don't remember it.
Well,
I always took dreams as a past life, but that was me.
Yeah, it's a basically a progressive dream, to where you have either experienced that in the past and you're reliving it in your dream state, and your subconscious knows that you need to relive it to learn something from it, or it's just something that has taken over time to build up within you, to where you have that ability to have that vivid of dreams. And you could consider yourself lucky, because most people can't even remember their dreams.
Well, that's kind of scared me, because for the last 6 months I don't remember any of my dreams, and that's not like me. I always remember my dreams. I know I can remember the smells, and I can still taste the taste, the feels, everything I heard. I was always able to do that in my dreams. In the last 6 months, I haven't remembered a single one of my dreams. That's one thing, Ida. That's what I was wondering, because I've heard that before as well, Ida. I have. I've had several dreams of where I was told by the great creator that I am supposed to rebuild a civilization and take charge of putting the civilization back together. I've had many dreams of that, where something catastrophic could happen, and I had a group of people with me on wagon trains, and it's a modern one. It ain't an old one. This is a futuristic type wagon train where we piece things together, which freaked me out, because when I started watching The Walking Dead and they were turning vehicles into wagons, I was like, holy shit, I've actually dreamed that crap. And I was taking people to a location where I was told to take them, and I was told to build a civilization here and put everybody in the right place and do things the right way. I've had several dreams like that. Now I've had preachers and prophets prophesy over me, telling me I'm supposed to be a leader amongst people. I never put stock in it, but I've had dreams of that crap. That's what's weird.
Well, that's the thing too, though. You need to, in order to enhance that part of your life, you need to put more faith and stock behind that, and discipline behind it, because that's the only way that part of your spiritual ability is going to grow. It's like a lot of these psychic mediums out there that you see on TV. They weren't always that way. Even they had their struggles dealing with it, knowing how to turn it off and turn it back on without, permanently stopping it, or permanently having it on. These are all things that you're taught, and sometimes the old ones will speak to us through our dreams to teach us these things. Okay. So, maybe that's the reason you're dreaming such a vivid dream, because you're always mentioning, your Native American background and your Norse background. And, maybe you need to do something along that lines to enhance your spirituality, your strength, your chi, whatever you want to call it, your energy field around you, your aura, whatever. And I do plan on doing a podcast on aura manipulation and energy manipulation here pretty soon. But it's going to be something I'm going to have to hold outside and probably at night, so away from, keeping people awake, because it's just, energy manipulation and manipulating your aura and all that, and guiding your chi is a very normal thing for humans to do. Have the innate ability to recall some things from the ancient past, okay, and make it part of their future, kind of like an awakening, okay, of the spirit. And everybody talks about, oh, this woke this and woke that, that has, your political preference, your sexual preference, your color, your blood type, all that has nothing to do with who and what you are. Okay. And we're all energy beings. Okay. We're all pure energy. And ironically, some people have that contact through their dream states, from the ancient ones teaching us. Okay. I had this special thing of having several elders instruct me, including my father. So that's why I'm a pipe carrier. And, I've done all the ceremonies, including the good ones, the Sundance, the Sweat Lodges, the Humblatia, the Vision Quest. I mean, everything. The flesh offerings before, to put in the Sundance Lodge. I mean, we would cut strips off of our deltoid and our tricep area of our body, and we would basically put the flesh inside like a red piece of cloth, and we would tie it together with the sinew, and we'd put like 7 or 10 of them together after we take our flesh and put it in there. And you'd have a bunch of little balls about the size of a dime, and you would take that when it's in the red cloth, and you would hang it within the sweat lodge, so kind of like making your connection to Wankantanka, the great spirit, and Makawakan, sacred Mother Earth, making that connection more powerful than just going into a sweat lodge and doing it and sweating your sins away. So it's stuff like that people that that people don't disclose very much, because it's stuff like that that makes our ceremonies strong. It makes us spiritually strong too, because we're able to show to our Creator that we can endure the pain and suffering in order to get granted a dream or a wish, and that's what it's all about. It's really just an ancient practice that's been around for thousands of years that has been forgotten.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, I mean, and there's a lot of stuff like I'm always constantly pondering why can't I remember my dreams anymore like I used to. So I'm like, okay, is there something off about me, or is there something that's happened to me that's caused this to happen? You know what I mean? And a lot of me says like it's something spiritual that's happened to me.
Yeah, yeah. Well, a lot of people when they get to that state, they're looking to have something teach them, to have some way of the spirituality of
Mm.
things, the existence of things. And maybe that's why I say question everything too, because I've always been one to not limit what I'm willing to learn.
Mm-hmm.
Not put blinders on. I've always been one to listen to the elders and listen to the inside, the spirit, and that's why I've been so graciously blessed with gifts and stuff from cryptid creatures, like Bigfoot and others. I've had more good interactions with cryptid creatures and other paranormal activity than I've had bad. Um, I've always been one to say I get along better with animals than I do people,
Mm-hmm.
and that's literally what it comes down to. Because you're never going to find something more loyal than a four-legged child.
Oh yeah.
The loyalty that they have and the unconditional love that they have, is has no limits. It's limitless. Okay, and that's exactly the teachings that we are supposed to have in this world. We should be able to love unconditionally and sacrifice ourselves unconditionally for loved ones. And I've always said, that if I was out in public and with all the people with the boomsticks going around and shooting up places, I've always been one to say, you know what, I would take a bullet for anybody, and I would, because that's what we're supposed to do. Okay, and if we didn't do that, at least some of us didn't do that, it'd be a lot worse of a world to live in than what we currently have. So,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's no doubt this little turd he's my buddy. I feel bad because when I gotta leave, he gets into depressive mode. He won't eat. All he does is lay in my bed or his bed until I get home, and he's
mhm,
so I got to spend
yeah,
5 minutes saying hello to him, and then he's got to go outside and go potty.
yeah,
So he's my buddy,
yeah,
though. I mean, me and him help each other out. But no, I was just kind of curious on that because it was something weird, um, that's out of my norm. And
yeah.
I know I know I know how to read dreams fairly well. It's just confused on like more so the futuristic side of it. Like I'm on a whole new another planet. I mean, and some of the things that I fight are just weird.
Well,
You
one
want to?
thing that
Oh,
one thing
yeah,
I
that's
want
right, Roxanne.
one thing I wanted
Sorry.
to show everybody is, uh, recently I sent a package to Eric, and it had this patch in it. Okay,
Uh-huh.
and this patch is something that I've given to David and a few others on here. I've given this patch to kind of show that we are all part of the same. I don't want to say group or clique because it's not that. That we are all part of the mystery, trying to solve it together. And this just is a representation of the dog man part of the mystery with the American flag. And I'll be getting more of them. I only have a couple left. But I'll be selecting some people to go ahead and maybe have those patches for themselves. To kind of give that camaraderie to work together on certain things. I wish I had the money to buy everybody a patch, but I'm broke as a three-legged horse. So that goes without saying. But eventually I will have all the Weirdo Warriors in the family to have one of them patches and to wear it on, whatever jacket they want to put it on. I have mine on my military camo that I wear it on. So because when I go out, that's what I prefer to wear. I prefer to wear camo gear or black gear when I go out at night to do investigations. So, but yeah, that patch is a representation of all of us basically having the same need to question everything and to basically work together to try and solve the great mystery that we're all trying to connect, the dots to. And I thought that patch just made it a little bit more on a personal level for everybody. So I will be getting more of them. So just hang tight.
Heck yeah. Yeah, I've been, I was like, man, I've got like 3 or 4 things I want to put this thing on. I was like, I don't know which one I want to put it on the most.
Yeah, whatever one you would use to wear for an investigation.
That's usually a backpack.
Yeah.
I wouldn't doubt that, Roxanne.
Yeah, it's just a representation of, somebody asks you, oh, that's a cool patch. Where'd you get that? You can say, well, you got to be part of the Weirdo Warrior family in order to get it.
Yeah.
So.
Yep. Like I've got one of DA's I got on my lunchbox. Then I've got my desert style American flag on my lunchbox as well. I thought about putting it on my LBV, but I don't have a spot on there I could put it. So I was like, well, I do carry a backpack with me quite often when I'm in the field, so I might just put it on that.
Well, and these patches too are Velcro. So if you have the military ball cap, you can even take the Velcro off the back of it.
Yep.
That
I might be able to get
and put the patch on the hat.
Yeah, I need to get that, and because I'm looking at trying to get some patches made myself, and I've thought about getting stuff for hats that you can stick them on a hat or something like that. So, actually, you know what? Why didn't I think of that before? I wonder if that thing would fit on there. I might be able to get that to fit on there.
Yeah, that would actually work.
I just thought about that just now. I lost a turkey feather that my brother gave me a long time ago, and I was out mowing one day, and I went and made one path, came back around, this feather wasn't there, came back around, that feather was there. So that told me that I was meant to have that feather. And something told me to pick it up, so I picked it up and stuck it right in my hat where my brother's used to be. Get carbon 60
Don't worry,
C6. I had to say it is a strong in mine cancer med. Oh, Yeah,
I got
that's funny. It's funny, Roxanne, you talk about your cat holding a conversation with somebody. My cats do that from time to time too. They can see into the other world. Cats are well known for seeing in the other world. So that don't surprise me one bit. My cats do it sometimes too. The other thing with my damn cats is I can't poop in peace because they got to think they got to be in there when I'm pooping. And it's weird when you're pooping, you look over the kitty litter box and they're pooping, staring at you like, what? I had to poop too. Freaking swear they have no respect, no personal space.
no personal space. Well, yeah, they're demanding. That's what a feline's
They
all
are.
about.
Worship me
And
now,
they're
human.
perfect. Yeah, they're perfect.
I
You know,
love my
so
kid. Yeah. Well, I was like, yeah. Or when you're taking a shower, all of a sudden you see a cat head poke through the shower curtain. I'm like, dude, I'm taking a
what are you
shower.
doing, Dad?
Yeah, it's like, well, get in here. I'll give you a shower too. And then all of a sudden they're like, nope, gone. But or you try to shut the door because, like, dude, I want some peace. And all of a sudden, meow, meow. And you got this little paw under the door. Meow. It's like, dude,
Yeah.
give me 5. This is the conversations I have at my home.
5 minutes and 4 squares.
I'm telling you, this literally is conversations I have with my animals in my home all the time. It's like, dude, can you not just give me 5 minutes to let me poop in peace? I mean, come on. Or hey, can I not have my shower in peace?
On that note, I'm gonna take my sleepy butt to bed here pretty soon. So we'll be back on at 11 a.m. tomorrow morning Eastern time. Like, heart, and share this out if you can. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe, and subscribe to Eric's channel too, The Bizarre and the Unknown. You can go to my store on Bonfire, Into the Red Rabbit Hole, and get your mugs, your t-shirts, your hoodies, your whatever you want. There's like 20 different designs on there, maybe 30.
Dude, yeah, and I just came out with a new one today too. So I one of them, I laughed my butt off when I made it, and literally it looks like a stoner Yeti and a stoner Bigfoot, and I was like, oh. We are so doing this. And it literally, the Bigfoot goes, dude, that hippie we just ate, I think it's getting to me. And the Yeti's like, dude, am I still alive? I can't feel my skin. I could not resist because it literally looked like a stoner Bigfoot and a stoner Yeti. See, it's a new line I dropped today called the Funnies, which I'll be coming up more stuff. I have a lot of fun. I have a lot of fun doing that stuff. And I love that merch. I love the fact that you guys give me ideas for merch. Like, I've got to come up something good for William for his Ginger Giant one. I'm going to come up with a good design for you to put on your shirts too, bro. Don't worry about it. I am working on something good for you. I don't know what I want to put on it yet, but it's definitely going to have the Ginger Giant in it. But I got to work on a design that I want to send to you and that you can put on one of your shirts.
Oh, man. Well, everybody, it's been a great night. And 11 a.m. is going to come awful early, especially when you get up at 6 a.m. because you can't sleep. So I will see everybody tomorrow morning. Okay. And Eric will be here too. And we'll just continue talking about the weird and mysterious world we live in. So we will see you all in the morning right here. Okay.
Came in at the last moment, night, Mary and Nick. So yeah, it'd be great. I can't, peace, love, and blessings to y'all. May you have blessed dreams tonight, and I look forward to hearing from you guys in the morning.
And I'm too tired to do a dream walking, so I won't be walking around tonight.
I'll be doing some walking around, but I ain't dreaming.
Yeah. All right, brother. We will see everybody tomorrow morning. Okay. Take care, everybody. Good night.
Good night, everyone.